Jeannie, we met through Instagram and I've been following your account for a while and just inspired how you run your whole family. You have 3 kids and you managed to run a triathlon. Your kids are very active and to me it all seems like a super family. So how do you guys do that?
Well, I don't know about a super family, but yes, hi, I'm Jeannie. I live in Charleston, South Carolina. I live there with my husband and my kids. I am a creative. I'm a graphic designer and a presentation specialist. I say creative because I'm also a photographer and a content creator. I designed a coloring book for kids for the Charleston area. So that's been fun. It's called Let's Color Charleston. As you said, we are very active. We're always moving. My Instagram account, I kind of consider myself like a active lifestyle account because that's just what we are as a family. My son loves to do triathlons too. So we're always just kind of having a lot of fun outside or inside or wherever. And I try and document it and share it.
That's so cool. How old are your kids?
Ava is 16, Theo is 7, and Lila is 5. That's a test. And I think I passed it.
Wow. It's like you hit multiple stages. Yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. So when does your son got involved with the triathlon?
I think he did his first one, he was 4. The first one he did, he actually had a swim aid, like a float. But he rode a pedal bike since he was 3 with no training wheels. And I mean, he's a little machine. He takes after his parents. So,
Wow. No, that's pretty inspiring. So how do you encourage children to stay active? Because I know some parents, I'm guilty a little bit myself too. You need to do your homework, home chores. You need to work a little bit and stuff. And they bugging you here and there, right? They just want your attention, obviously. So how do you encourage to stay active the way you do, like training for what's
yeah,
the family secret?
yeah, the family secret. I mean, they see us being active all the time. My husband is a triathlete. He's competes in Ironman. And so he's training a lot. So they see us do that. I also exercise every day, although I stay away from Ironman for me. So they see that, but then we also set up places for them to play. Like, we've got the Brainrich system and they love that. I think part of it that it's with us nearby, we've done it in areas that we're already going to be. So this is my office. It's also kind of a multi-use space. My husband trains back there. I have my Peloton bike back there. Side by side thing, when my husband was training on it, my son kept wanting to get on my Peloton. And at first I was like, no, I'm not sure that's safe. You've got stinky feet. I don't want them in my shoes, stuff like that. But my husband was right there because his bike's right next to it. And so I was like, okay, well, he's probably safe. And he kept wanting to do it. So my husband would let him ride and he got really interested in it. So eventually I just bought him his own shoes that fit him because I figured that was safer. And now he'll go do like a 30-minute Motley Crue ride over there, just jamming out, riding Peloton. I think some of it is that we do have like a good outside space here in Charleston. We have some pretty good weather most of the year. So we've got some outside space for them to run, or we go take walks a lot. So that helps. We do go to a lot of races together. I know I mentioned Ironman. My husband does a lot of those and other triathlons. And so they see the races and how exciting they are and everybody's cheering. And they like to do the kids races in that. And so that's fun. And we just encourage them to be kids, they love to swim. They love the boogie board. They love to play at playgrounds. We explore a lot of like local areas together. That's a lot of walking, oh, I found this trail, or we haven't been and seen this attraction or whatever it might be. Let's go check it out. And so we just explore a lot of places together. When I take them to playgrounds, I'd like to just like sit. And a lot of times I do. And sometimes I have to like sneak in a little work while they're playing or something like that. But I usually try to get on the equipment at least once with them while we're there. The last playground we were at had some weird like rolly thing that you're supposed to balance on. I'd never seen it before. And so, I just jumped on it and I'm like, wow, this is hard. How do you do this? You show me. And those kind of, even though it's like a micro instance of the day, I think it helps build those little building blocks of you guys working together as being active as a family, but also just in your relationship too.
That's so cool. I've noticed it with my kids as well. We always had our gym in the living room, pretty much. It's a central piece. And sometimes people are asking us, like, oh, where's the best place to put your system in the house? And my best answer is always whenever you are, because kids at that age, I mean, we're talking about anywhere from birth to up to 10 or something, they want to be next to you, right? And
Mhm.
especially if you have a full-time job, you're out of the house when you come home, that's where kids want to be. They want to be next to you.
Right, right.
Right.
And we ended up having this great room for the system. But I remember when we were looking at houses, there was a house that it didn't have a great spot for it, like within its own kind of ecosystem. And there was a hallway area. It was an open house system, but it was the living room and the kitchen. And I was like, just so you know, honey, like if we get this house, the jungle gym is going right here. And he was like, oh, cool. Like that was gonna be the plan. Like
Tip number one, if you want to be an active parent, if you want to encourage your kids to play in the system a lot, just find a place where you can actually be next to your kids and at least they can see you at their side, because that will help them to still be active, but know that you're around them. They kind of keep you in the radar. That's what my kids do. They keep me on their radar. I was like, what? Where's mommy?
because if it's not where you are gonna be, they are gonna be where you are gonna be. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's kind of you're missing the point. You just got this whole system. It's like go exercise, but you're missing the other point. They want to be next to you at the same time.
And, we have challenges on it too. The other day, my son and I did a hang challenge to see how long we could hang from the pull-up bars.
What was the timing? I'm curious.
I forget what his was. Mine was not very good. I think mine was like 20 seconds before I was like losing some feeling in my hands. So work on it.
The hanging, I try to do at least 2 times a day for a minute.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I can hold for a minute. It's like it's you have to remove reins, right? When you do it.
Rings off. And so I was
Yeah, but it's actually it's like a challenge, right? It's a minute, but that minute feels like 10 minutes, when you
I
do
bet.
that.
I bet. Well, I'm gonna have to like ice my hands and get my rings off and give it another try.
What I also noticed from your Instagram page that you go in Charleston, you
Yeah.
actually start putting into an illustration book. And I really like the videos that you do when you actually see the building or some features of your city and you actually showing a drawing right on top of it. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Has that been recognized in your city yet? Has people been
Yeah.
picking up
It's
on that?
Yeah, it's doing really, really well. A lot of local stores have it. I mean, it's sold on Amazon, of course, and it was like immediately a bestseller on Amazon. So that was really fun. It's doing great in all sorts of boutiques and shops, and locals love it and tourists love it, which is exactly what I was hoping for. There isn't much like that here. And so it was kind of a niche that wasn't filled, and I was able to do it.
What about balancing those personal interests, your hobbies as a creator, with the active lifestyle that your family is doing?
That's the hardest thing, right? Especially, I mean, it sounds like you, like I'm a hobby girl. I get into all sorts of kinds of different things I still do, but a lot of that, let's be real, when you become a parent, like a lot of that kind of goes to the wayside, and so you really have to pick and choose what's important. I kind of figure out either how to do my hobbies side by side. So often I'll have a kid swinging there while I was illustrating that book. So either side by side where we're not necessarily doing the same thing, but we can converse or just be next to each other. Or I involve them. So I got on like a little bracelet making kick for a while where I wanted to like learn how to make like a really good bracelets that like good materials and da 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 da. I don't know, one of those creative endeavors. And so my daughter got into it with me. And then my son was like, oh, I want one. And so we got to do it all together. And I say the other time that I do it is when they go to bed. And so whether it be work or hobby or exercise, it's like when they're sleeping. So when the kids aren't in school during the summer, I got up every day at 5 a.m. to do my workout so that was done. And I was ready to start the day with them. My husband's good at being like, oh, let me see you do this while he's running on the treadmill. I have no idea how he does it, but I know that I need to get that done. So I have to do it while they sleep. But those are kind of the three strategies I use. So either side by side or involve them where I can, or do it when they're sleeping.
I don't know if someone can relate or not, but ever since high school, I was always working, I was always doing something. When I had a child, I had to stay home and raise my child. I was like, oh my goodness, I was going crazy. I think a lot of moms who have to kind of leave the past of their work, focus on their kids. If you are one of those moms, you just have to find a way that also satisfies your needs as well. It might take you some time, but you will get there and enjoy the moments with your kids. As Jeannie is mentioning, you kind of have to find your family's routine where you can incorporate each other's interests.
Yeah, for sure. And, it changes throughout what stage of parenting or life you are and what you got to figure out those important ones are that you hit and maybe let some of the other ones go to the wayside. Not forever. You can always come back to making bracelets or whatever the hobby might be. But like work is probably a little more important than that, to make sure we hit that one and save the other hobbies for a little later when you've got a little more energy.
When your eyes is not so red and you can actually
Yeah.
open them.
Then this stops switching.
And that's what you for sure.
On something else.
Yeah, that's for sure. I don't know if you had this kind of picture in your head. I was like, I want my kids to be this and this, and I know my family is going to be this and this.
That makes me laugh because I think about every time that I was like, oh, well, when I'm a parent, I will never do this. And then I have done every single one of the things that I said I would never do. I was a really, really good parent before I had kids, right? So something that my husband and I did after we had kids, we made a family mission statement and we put it on the wall. And so I think that has really helped us also, like, as we're dealing with issues, whether it be like a kid who's struggling with something or we're trying to make a big decision or something like that, we can always come back to that mission statement and say like, okay, if we solve this problem like this, is it going to help our mission? Like, does it follow our mission statement? And so that helps. I think like in terms of, we talked a lot about like the healthy lifestyle stuff and active lifestyle. I think from that lens point, the values that I hope to instill in the kids are having healthy minds, healthy bodies, and making healthy choices. I think it's hard to, if you're not feeling good, because you're feeling sluggish or you're tired and you're just kind of feeling bleh, it's really hard to be happy. And so I think that it starts with making sure that your body is healthy. If they've got that base of a healthy body, then it's going to be so much easier for them to feel happier in life. Not taking into account major things or other health issues, but having that base, this active lifestyle, I think it only like would help them be happier in life.
That's so true. That's how I think about it as well. Is there anything else you would like to recommend from your experience as a parent? Something that you kind of went through, or something that you learned along the way, a little tip for another mom?
Sure. Well, I think in the lens of active families, I guess I would say two things. If you are trying to start working out yourself, because I have gone through periods of time where like, I'd say like running is probably my go-to sport where I haven't been running and going out for a run sounds so daunting. I always tell people, take it way slower than you think even possible. Did you know that like you can actually run a 14-minute mile? That like that's not walking. You can run that. It can be that slow. And that's okay. Or do a half a mile. Don't go out and run or whatever your exercise is super, super hard because then you might finish it feeling okay, but man, that was an effort and you're not going to be more likely to come back the next day. And so start super, super slow and slowly you'll build and start realizing that like, oh, wow, I'm doing a lot. I actually want to get up and exercise. So I'd say if you're trying to start exercising again as an adult, go slow. My second piece of advice is if you're looking for ways to be more active as a family, do little challenges like the hang challenge. That was fun. Find ways to make it fun for you too. And go explore somewhere. Go look up, a local park and take them there or a local, like landmark or places that people go that you haven't been or you haven't been in a while. Even if you park at there, like you drive your car and you park there, walking to it, that kind of thing. The more and more you do of that, the more you realize like, oh wow, we do we're active a lot. I didn't realize we're constantly walking or we're constantly going to explore this, or all of a sudden you look and your kid is jumping from like platform to platform in some random place you're exploring or whatever it might be. And the more you expose your family to times that they can be active, the more active they're going to be.
That's so true. Oh, tell people where to find you.
Oh, sure. Yeah. My Instagram handle is the_plus_o. So if you put it together, it actually makes Theo, which is my son's name, the+o, but the_plus_o.
Oh, that's so cute. And for your coloring book, in case someone is listening from Charleston.
Yes. Yeah. Or if you want to visit and you want a coloring book, they're in lots of local boutiques and shops. But if you want to, you can find it on Amazon, and the link is saved in a highlight bubble on my Instagram.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jeannie.